Good morning, I'm Colin Sandberg from the Endurance Collective, and this is day 3 of my attempt at a 30-hour training week. As you saw, I woke up this morning with a pretty bad recovery score of 32% and in the red. HRV was 36, resting heart rate was 59, so these are not good numbers. Anyway, I've been in the red before. Although I will say more often than not, it was after having a few drinks, which absolutely tanks the numbers. And on some of those days, I felt okay the next day. I'm really hoping to talk about this issue more in one of the upcoming Versus episodes. So let me just say this right now that my experience is the big thing with alcohol is it affects sleep quality. And that's something that sort of slowly catches up to you over time. So whether it's from drinking or any other reason, if you have one bad night's sleep, it's usually not the end of the world. So that was not the case. I didn't have anything to drink last night. And I did everything I could to recover. I tried to rehydrate. I had my recovery drink as well as my cherry juice, as Liz suggested. I got to bed early, but I'm still tired. Yesterday was a really tough day. I ended up with just under 5 hours for the day, total of 267 TSS, and my Whoop strain score was 20.5, with 21 being the highest possible. I thought that I got an okay night's sleep, although I had to wake up about 3 times in the middle of the night to pee. It's the downside of trying really hard to rehydrate. Anyway, today is another day, and it will be slightly easier than yesterday. I'm going to do an endurance ride on the gravel bike in the morning, and I'm going to do a fast group ride in the evening. And because this group ride is a larger group ride in Chapel Hill, I don't have as much obligation to to work. So if I really need to, I can sit at the back, and I can avoid some of the efforts. Whereas I can only do that so much last night. But my biggest concern right now is actually not the fact that I'm really tired, but that I've got this sore. Like I said last night, I wouldn't call it a saddle sore, but it is. It's very painful to sit on the saddle, and it's one of these things that could really derail my week if it doesn't get better. So let's see. Hopefully, riding the gravel bike will be a little bit better with a more upright position. In a different saddle, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm looking forward to this. Basically, get out in the woods, have some fun. It's something different, add some variety, work on bike handling a little bit, and not have to worry about traffic as much. It's another beautiful day in North Carolina, except for the pollen. So let's see how it goes. from my gravel ride. Had a really nice ride in Brumley. Where I live, I'm sort of right across the street from a section of Duke Forest with a big gravel road that I can ride through and end up right at the start of Brumley, do a loop. We're really lucky to have Brumley here. It's a really nice park, and even though I ride it all the time, so it gets a little bit boring in some ways, I just really appreciate all the work people do to keep that well groomed. It is all rideable on the gravel bike. Of course, I can't blast through it like I can on my mountain bike. The saddle sore, let's just call it a saddle sore, is it was better pedaling on the gravel bike, but the bumps made it tough, so I did a lot of hovering off of the saddle and out of the saddle on uphills. And I probably started with my tires a bit overinflated because there was there was some sealant stuck in the valves, I think, and so it made it difficult to get an exact reading with the pressure. So started off a little overinflated, made it extra bumpy and tough on the sensitive bits. But yeah, we'll see what happens the rest of the day. Don't feel too bad right now, though. Ready to go for my second ride of the day, which is another group ride in Chapel Hill. So this is going to be about 45 minutes each way to and from the ride, plus an hour and a half group ride. And this is a ride where they go hard up a few hills, and then there's some pace lining and a sprint at the end. If I'm feeling a bit tired, I might try to sit out as much as possible. Like I said before, this is a ride that, since I'm not a ride leader and it's a bigger ride, I can get away with doing that a little bit more. If I sit in too much, I won't contest a sprint, but we'll see. Really, the biggest thing I'm worried about is this saddle sore making things uncomfortable. But I'm sure I can get through it either way. I did a decent job, I think, of recovering. Ate a lot of food. I took a little nap in the afternoon. So let's see how it goes. All right, so I made it over the hump, or at least I made it past hump day. Actually, the second ride wasn't bad. It was another beautiful North Carolina night. I was a bit conservative with pulling through, and I probably didn't need to be, but no problem in saving a little bit for the rest of the week, the other 4 days this week. But yeah, felt pretty good, and it was a big enough group that I could really recover sitting on, which I think is the difference. You know, last night it was a smaller group, so you can't recover as much. And I have also had a lot of problem in the heat before. The last time I did this ride, this hammer ride in Chapel Hill, it was warmer, and I just had much more difficulty recovering even sitting on. And I think, yeah, it's just the heat really gets to me. So the saddle sore issue was annoying, but not horrible. It was bearable. So yeah, these double days are really tough logistically, but they work really well for a lot of people. Especially if you work kind of a normal job where you're busy during most of the day, you can do one workout before work, one after work. Maybe it's you do both of them on your commutes. Maybe one of them is a group ride like this, and you can throw that in for bonus. So yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna try to get some dinner and get rehydrated now. I did lose 2 pounds on this ride, which was very surprising considering it was comfortable, mild temperatures. But like I've said before, when you pay attention to this, weighing yourself before and after every ride, it's kind of amazing what you see. Sometimes it's counterintuitive. So let's see how I do tonight. And yeah, tomorrow's a big day, so I'm going to try to get started early.